Welcome back. In the first half, we revealed the potential for significant inflated figures in the U.S. monthly non-farm payroll report and the possibility that the Federal Reserve is basing its decisions on an overly optimistic economic illusion. Today, we'll continue with analyst Mike Shedlock's exploration of the more subtle, but equally alarming, details of the employment data. We'll see that millions of unemployed people are quietly disappearing beneath the radar screen of official statistics. Beyond focusing on monthly job creation, another key measure of labor market health is the number of continuing unemployment claims. This figure reflects the number of people who are continuing to receive unemployment benefits. Over the past year, this number has grown relatively slowly, reassuring many analysts and Federal Reserve officials that the labor market remains solid. But once again, Mish uses his data analysis to puncture this beautiful bubble. In his research article, 5 million people have exhausted all their unemployment insurance benefits. He reveals a startling fact. From January 2024 to July 2025, the number of continuing unemployment claims increased by only 175,000. Meanwhile, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics' own household survey data, the total number of unemployed people increased by over 1 million. This is a huge, unavoidable gap. Where did these nearly 900,000 unemployed people go? Why don't they show up in the continuing unemployment claim statistics? Mish offers several harsh answers. The first and most important reason is their benefits have run out. This is common sense that many people overlook. In the United States, unemployment insurance doesn't last indefinitely. Most states offer benefits for a maximum of 26 weeks or 6 months. Some states, like Florida and North Carolina, offer benefits for as little as 12 to 14 weeks. This means that once you've been unemployed for longer than that, even if you haven't found a job, you automatically disappear from the continuing unemployment claim statistics. You become unemployed and invisible. Mish estimates that over the past year or so, approximately 5 million Americans have exhausted all their unemployment insurance benefits. Second, the increasingly stringent eligibility requirements. Frequent job changes, temporary gig work, or self-employment can make it difficult to qualify for unemployment benefits. These forms of employment, increasingly common in the gig economy, exclude the largest and most vulnerable workers from the unemployment safety net. Thus, the seemingly stable continuing claims figure actually significantly underestimates the severity of the problem. It's like a pressure cooker. While the indicator on the surface hasn't fluctuated significantly, the pressure within has already built to dangerous levels. So, since the continuing claims figure is distorted, what indicators should we look at to gauge the true state of the job market? Mish repeatedly emphasizes that what we really need to focus on is duration of unemployment. One line in his chart is particularly worrying: the number of people unemployed for more than 15 weeks. Data shows that of the more than 1 million new unemployed people over the past year or so, a staggering 844,000, or nearly 80%, are long-term unemployed. This reveals a stark reality. Once you lose your job now, it will take increasingly longer to find your next one. This is a stark reversal of the picture during strong economic times. During boom times, labor market mobility was high, and even those who lost their jobs often found new opportunities within weeks. Now, the sharp increase in the number of long-term unemployed is a clear signal that businesses are scaling back hiring and a chill is spreading in the job market. Now, let's connect the dots and see how this true picture hidden behind the data will trigger a chain reaction in the economy. The first domino to fall is employment. As we've analyzed, actual job growth is far weaker than officially reported, and long-term unemployment is rapidly worsening. The second domino to fall will be consumption. In another report, titled Cracks Emerging in U.S. Economic Growth, analyst Lance Roberts' data perfectly corroborates Mish's findings. The report notes that the share of full-time employment in total employment continues to weaken, while wage growth is also losing momentum. When people can't find full-time work and wage growth doesn't keep up with inflation, what inevitably happens? They cut back on spending. And consumption is precisely the primary engine driving U.S. economic growth, accounting for nearly 70% of GDP. The third domino to fall is the collapse of household finances. We're already seeing clear warning signs. Delinquency rates on student loans, auto loans, and credit cards are steadily rising. This suggests that more and more families are depleting their savings and struggling under the weight of debt. When these three dominoes fall one after another, what will be the ultimate outcome? Undoubtedly, a recession. A reader named Ben W. commented on Mish's article, stating that, through analyzing historical data, he found that unemployment levels around 8 million are often the trigger for a recession. At the rate of unemployment increasing by 1 million over the past 12 months, we could reach this critical point in the first half of 2026. Combining our analysis over the past two issues, a disturbing picture becomes abundantly clear. The Federal Reserve, the helmsman of global financial markets, faces a policy cliff. The navigation system it relies on, official employment data, may be subject to significant delays and distortions. The monthly non-farm payroll report, CES, may significantly overestimate job growth due to sampling issues and flawed statistical models. Continuing unemployment claims, distorted by the large number of unemployed individuals exhausting their benefits, mask the severity of long-term unemployment. The Federal Reserve is like a driver driving through a lagging, glorified rearview mirror. When it finally sees the cliff ahead through the windshield, it may be too late to brake. This almost guarantees that the Fed will make a major policy mistake. It is likely that it will belatedly initiate significant interest rate cuts only after the economy has already entered a substantial recession. However, this belated rescue often fails to halt the economic downturn. Instead, it may reignite inflation on the ruins of the economy due to excessive monetary easing. This is exactly the scenario that played out during the painful stagflation nightmare of the 1970s. What does this mean for ordinary investors? It means we need to reinterpret the old adage, don't fight the Federal, because the Fed itself may not even know what it's truly right. Fed officials can flex and loosen and get away with it, but investors are bound to suffer heavy losses. This is a stark imbalance of power and responsibility. We need to learn to, like Mish, examine the details behind the data and focus on those corners overlooked by the mainstream narrative. In the coming months, keep a close eye on more realistic indicators, such as the extent of revisions to employment data, changes in the U-6 unemployment rate, and the increase in the number of long-term unemployed people. These data are the true beacons that can help us see the truth through the fog. In this major market shift driven by data distortion, those who can identify risks earlier will be more likely to preserve their wealth during this inevitable adjustment. The above is my personal opinion only and does not constitute investment advice. Thank you for your company.